Do vitamins really help with male sexual function? Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about folic acid, or vitamin B9, and what role it might play in male sexual function. Hello everyone, welcome to Men's Health. The information presented in this video is based on the medical knowledge of a certified urologist, but it is intended for educational purposes only and does not replace a consultation with a healthcare professional. If you have any questions or concerns regarding your health, please seek specialized medical guidance, and let's get to today's topic: how folic acid or vitamin B9 can help with your sexual function. Folic acid, the same one used by pregnant women or women trying to conceive in the attempt of conception, folate, plays a fundamental role in the production of nitric oxide, which is the vasodilator that acts at the beginning of the erection cascade. A study was recently published analyzing various groups of patients with erectile dysfunction and the action of folic acid on erection performance. Previously, studies were somewhat confusing. Some showed benefit, while others did not. One arm of this study compared the folic acid levels in the bloodstream of healthy patients without erection problems, comparing them with the folic acid levels of patients with erectile dysfunction. Approximately 980 men with erectile dysfunction were compared with 850 healthy men without erection problems. And what was observed? When they compared the group of men with erectile dysfunction to those without erectile dysfunction who were healthy, the study observed that the concentration of folic acid was up to 0.94 nanograms per milliliter lower in patients with erectile dysfunction. And this value worsened as the severity of erectile dysfunction increased. Another study compared the erectile function of patients with dysfunction without taking folic acid, and after 3 months of using a dose of 0.4 to 0.5 milligrams per day of folic acid. And what was observed was an improvement in the level of this erectile dysfunction. Patients who had dysfunction classified as severe progressed to moderate or mild, showing a clear benefit from the intake of folic acid administered over this period of time. Another subgroup of patients evaluated in relation to folic acid were diabetic patients. These patients were divided into two groups that received 10 milligrams of tadalafil every 2 days, and one group received folic acid while the other received a placebo, or the sugar pill that did not contain the compound. And it was observed that patients who received folic acid at a dose of 5 milligrams per day, which is indeed a much higher dose than what is usually administered. However, it is a dose not associated with significant side effects. These diabetic patients showed better performance in their erections, more efficient and rigid erections, when compared to those who received only the placebo, the pill without the substance. What can we conclude from the analysis of these studies? Can we actually prescribe folic acid for the treatment of erectile dysfunction? Not yet. We don't have any studies with very robust evidence, with relevant statistical significance, to affirm that folic acid is useful in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. Why? We still don't know the dose, we don't know the sufficient treatment duration, and we don't even know if the effects are transient or indeed permanent. Another thing that patients need to be aware of is that folic acid can have cross-reactions with some other medications, for example with anticonvulsants. Therefore, not every patient is suitable to use this type of medication. So what can we advise patients? To consume foods rich in folate, in folic acid. And what are they? Vegetables, spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, fruits like banana and melon, natural fruit juices like orange and tomato. Some meats, for example, beef, liver, kidney, and mushrooms. These are foods rich in folate that we can encourage the consumption of without any reservations. It's important to remember, everyone, that the most important thing for erectile dysfunction is to have a healthy diet. The consumption of these foods can be encouraged, but it is essential for the patient to have healthy lifestyle habits. Obesity control, combating a sedentary lifestyle, quitting habits like smoking and alcoholism, as well as maintaining a proper diet. Well, as you've seen, folic acid, or vitamin B9, does play an important role in the production of nitric oxide, which is essential for healthy erections. But there's something that the studies still don't tell us. There's a natural, 100% safe shortcut that activates this same pathway much faster and more powerfully. And it's helping thousands of men regain firm, spontaneous, and lasting erections even after the age of 50. It's a small habit that takes just 7 seconds and supercharges your nitric oxide levels, sexual desire, and performance, without needing medication or changing anything in your routine. I'm going to leave the link here in the description and also a QR code on the screen now. Just click or point your phone camera to access the complete video with all the details. If you take your sexual health seriously, it's well worth watching while it's still available. And if you found the content of this video important, if you think it will benefit someone you know, please share the information. Take advantage, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications to stay updated on our weekly content. Best regards.
Audio Jungle.